I want to focus for a few moments on these spiralling trade tensions with China, in particular this eighth Australian beef supplier, Queensland's Merrimist Abattoir, which has now had its beef exports banned by China. Now, the country is one of Australia's main meat suppliers, and they know that. And these tactics are bullish, they're crippling, they're childish in the way they don't communicate. Earlier, I caught up with the CEO of the Australian Meat Industry Council after being dealt yet another blow to our already embattled agricultural industries. Well, Patrick, the hits just keep on coming. How are suppliers and some of these abattoirs coping with these increasing bans?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Look, obviously it's never ideal for these sorts of things to occur to us. I think clearly what we've got to recognise, we're a little bit different to the other agricultural commodities where this is a real company-by-company scenario, and this happens from time to time globally. But I guess the problem that we have is that normally what would occur is we would have a dialogue with our Chinese counterparts and our importers, like we do at the other 100 countries we export to around the world. But unfortunately, we don't have a dialogue at the moment, so it's making it all the more difficult.
You're getting a cold shoulder, you can't compromise. What about the businesses themselves? Have they indicated to you that they have or will have to close down at least for a few months?
Look, at this time of year, often there are seasonal and holiday shutdowns for our members and for our abattoirs across Australia. So that's a normal occurrence, but it's the reopening. And I suppose one of the interesting parts is that we also have a short supply of livestock. We've got the most expensive, or some of the most expensive cattle types in the world at this time, and we're seeing some soft demand, certainly from the US for our manufacturing product, and that's normally where this product to China would go. So, look, I think in all, looking at this overall, we've actually up 25% year on year into China for chilled product, which is our high value, but we're down 33% on our manufacturing or our bulk product. So that's where we're really being impacted.
Is there any link between what's occurred for the eighth time and this silly, stupid statement made by someone from the Chinese government yesterday that the COVID-19 virus emanated from Australian steak? Did they plant that yesterday so they could actually do what they did today?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, if they were going to do something of that magnitude, the member that we're talking about, a very strong member of ours, but the company only does about 20 containers a month to China. Right. So, you know, for the Caboolture area, obviously a strong employer for employees, but look, overall, that company will be looking to move product elsewhere, and no doubt is doing that already. But I think also we should recognise that China is linked in a signatory to the WHO. The WHO, and through our own Food Standards Australia, New Zealand, has been very clear in saying that COVID cannot be transmitted via meat and food products. So I guess it goes against the own WHO requirements.
It was good to see the WHO respond to that stupid statement yesterday the way they did. Well, how long can these businesses hold out then? And you have no doubt that this is political punishment, right?
Look, at this stage, it's very hard to tell for our industry's perspective. You could certainly maybe look at it from the wine industry with a 200% tariff over a 6-month period, or barley at an 80% tariff. But this is a company-by-company basis. And the problem is, we're not sure if it is actually a political basis. And the reason is because we don't have that dialogue anymore. So the problem that we face is that everyone turns to us and then says, well, you're Australia's biggest agricultural exporter, you're top 10 in agricultural exports, Inc. for Australia, and you're the third biggest manufacturer in the country. Surely you can just diversify. And potentially we can, and we can diversify for volume. The problem is that we can't diversify for value, and that is what we pay farmers on. So essentially, we've got to then start to really look at the overall relationship structure that we have now. What is going to be the short-term, medium to long-term future for that? And most importantly, Chris, where does trade sit? We don't want to see us having to do anything at all in regards to our values, our principles as a nation, nor in fact any of the security apparatus. But at the same time, for trade, we also can't be sitting on the sidelines continuing to cop some the hits, as you said before. Otherwise, we just become that innocent bystander, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, it's not a great time for the ag industry in this country for many reasons, but of course, because we're getting the cold shoulder from China, it doesn't help anyone. Thank you so much for your time.
No problems. Thank you.